Hello, and we are 2 weeks away from our WrestleMania Total Mayhem, so I'm gonna start off the show in a different way as there's major game-changing news. Sam Keith, who is the SWF Booker, he's probably one of their top biggest stars, probably their second best worker besides Christian Faith, and Tommy Cornell, but he had a scandal where it's like a drug operation scandal. So what happened is SWF released him, and now they don't have a head booker. This is changing everything in the save, as Sam Keith was somebody that I never would have been able to sign. He would have stayed head booker, but now I can sign him right now if I wanted to. But with him being under scandal, I feel like that'd be bad look for a new company to right away sign a guy under a drug smuggling scandal. But when that scandal blows over, 100%, I think Sam Keith will be joining HGC. He is the father of Matthew Keith, who is famous in Japan in the Sea Wrestler, as well as Greg Gage of TCW. So he will fit right in within like our company and then the legacy end of it, as he is, I believe, he's not close friends with what's called Sam Strong Ripcord, but he and Ripcord do have like a friendly what's it called um, relationship as like Seaverse lore happens. So I feel like he will fit right in with us. I'm tempted to sign him now, but I don't want to let the scandal blow over first, and then I'll probably bring him in. So be curious to see how SWF performs without him, as he's a pretty dang good booker, and to see if they finally use this guy. Oh my, what if they make him the booker? That'd be pretty, very interested to see who they make the booker. I guess we'll figure out over the next couple weeks. I thought it'd be interesting. What if like Sam Keith left and Nemesis stayed? So Nemesis left to join Dave as he wanted to have like a different style of wrestling. So what if Sam Keith joined Dave and Nemesis stayed in SWF? Would Tommy Cornell have stayed in Dave? What if Tommy Cornell went to Dave? There's just a lot of different dynamics you can do with Seaverse 1997 with just like the mainstay guys. Like you could have Nemesis be the head booker of SWF and push like the Attitude Era of SWF. Or you could have Tommy Cornell jump with Nemesis in July of '97, and the Hardcore Revolution has a new biggest star, Tommy Cornell. Nemesis could have joined HGC. There's just a lot of different dynamics with like 4 or 5 characters that I think makes it very interesting. But anyways, we're 2 weeks away from our WrestleMania, our Total Mayhem. So let's get to it, and we have some tournament action tonight. So we start off the show with Dusty Streets getting upper hand in a brawl with Beelzebub. I thought it was important here to show that Beelzebub can be like beaten a little bit, where just it gives Dusty a little bit of like credibility that he can defeat Beelzebub and vice versa to kind of show that they're on equal level. And I just thought that was a good way to start the show. We follow that up with Liberty showing up. He demands a fight with Romeo Heartthrob. Romeo doesn't respond, so Liberty says, "Anybody who wants a fight, come out and take it right now." Danny Rushmore comes out, loses to Liberty, but post-match, Liberty gets attacked by Romeo Heartthrob. Just basic, storyline 101. Nothing crazy there. We follow that up with Coach Dick and Professor Nero kind of hyping the tag team finals main event, as it's going to be the Vessies versus the Demons of Rage. I feel like here we're kind of starting to plant the seed of Professor Nero prodding RP Jr. being jealous of the Vessies. So just kind of continuing that thread as well. We follow that up with Jeb Langley and the Danger Kid, who the Danger Kid will be one of our hardcore title participants. I think it's just going to be a 3-man match. They pick up one over Nation of Filth. I'm sorry if my audio just maxed out there. I don't know why. We follow that up with Damien Carville and Whistler agreeing to a flagpole match. This is a staple of late WCW. There's not going to be a Judy Bagwell on a pole match, I promise you. But this is just a way to kind of continue this feud and hopefully blow it off, where we can get Damien Carville a little bit of heat. We follow that up with Lance Henderson defeating Golden Fox in a match that's way better than it had any right of being. Fun facts about Lance Henderson. Again with the mic, I'm sorry if it's like maxing out. He's like below 225, but he's above 220, so we got to adjust the cruiserweight to 225 instead of 220 so we can fit him in. But that's, 5 pounds doesn't make that much difference. We have Eric Tyler kind of cutting a promo backstage. talking to about his matchup next week versus Cowboy Ricky Dale. That is the main event of our go home show, where the winner of that will face the winner of tonight's main event to be in the international title match at Total Mayhem. After that, we go into Cowboy Ricky Dale defeating Joel Bryant. So Eric Tyler kind of set up Joel Bryant to face Cowboy in the previous segment. This is just Cowboy getting a win here and continuing teasing next week. We have Ripcord kind of taking a cheap shot at Sam Strong, saying maybe he is responsible for Sam Keith's recent scandal. I think it's a good way to add some. It would have been at the time of just like that, like real life kind of blending the lines of like pointing out to something that wouldn't have been talked about, where it's like you have a massive scandal of a massive star. So Ripcord taking a low blow and blaming Sam Strong, which is unreasonable. He has nothing to do with it, literally. I just feel like it's a good way to kind of add a little bit of heat to this feud. And Ripcord on top of it has like he's recovering, so I feel like that is a good way to kind of be show he's a hypocrite as he's a heel. In our main event, we have RP Jr. versus Brent Hill. We had RP Jr. This is our first creative finish where he came up with ideas very risky. Said why not? Didn't have that great of a as a failure. Didn't the match is okay. But they have good chemistry. So even though RP Jr. like I said, is probably gonna be one of their first heel turns, this is a match that we can revisit down the line. I also should note is during the match, a big deal, Frankie Future returns and kind of distracts Brent Hill. So RP Jr. doesn't get a clean victory here, but considering the upcoming heel turn, well, down the line, I feel like he doesn't need to be that clean cut, good guy babyface. And Frankie Future returning here, which he'll be returning as a babyface, and that'll be acknowledged next week. I feel like is a good way to get Brent Hill, protect him from losing the tournament, and it's a good way to set up their match at Total Mayhem. So overall, the show's pretty good. I mean, can't complain really. I wish the main event was better. That's just part of using the creative angle. So we only lost 60 grand. It's not bad. We're still kind of going up that popularity wagon, so I'm hoping there. What's a shame is I feel like given the booking change, I feel like this could have been a week we defeat SWF, but I doubt it now. Is what it is. If the main event really delivered, I feel like this could have been the week, but we'll see. All right, so let's see what SWF did. They had a 7. See, that's their worst rated show of the year, and I feel like we could have beat that. We've beaten that multiple times, but not today. So pretty much that will be. Let's see here, if anyone. No, not really. So we're at the point now where I don't really need to show the popularity every week. But I'm going to pause here, fast forward to next week, and see if we find out who the SWF booker is, which I guess I should check real quick. I also thought it'd be interesting if I like just put Sam Keith on Dave's roster as like their danger and violence extreme. Wouldn't they like kind of go after that guy? It feels like it makes sense. Still no Tommy Cornell, but I feel like that is a huge dynamic into the next couple weeks, the series overall. The Sam Keith is not going to be the SWF booker, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm really curious to see who they pick as the new booker SWF. So hopefully we get to find out here. As we go through, I did make a note that Vengeance, aka Skull to Bones, quit Dave over pay dispute, and I thought about bringing him in, but I don't like the Undertaker like spooky characters. Like I have a really hard time booking Aldous Blackfriar, my PSW save. So I just kind of want to stay away from that. Like I already have BLZ Bub, and he's just going to be like a monster heel, pretty basic there. But to add Vengeance, then down the line maybe Dread. I'm just not. I feel like it'd be too much. I would be tempted to sign Vengeance, aka Skull to Bones, and have him do like an Undertaker like streak at Total Mayhem. As he's only 25, I feel like that'd be cool. But like the save's only gonna go 4 or 5 years maybe. So I'm not sure. Tell me what you would have done. How do you like booking those guys? I just never really have fun doing it. Like I said, Aldous Blackfriar, like Legion of Blood, I kind of just turn into like a brood, hardcore pervert stable. So SWF signed Whistler away from me. Okay. Um, doesn't say here. So I didn't turn on my Mail settings. That's on me. Okay, not a big deal. So yeah, Whistler leaves HGC to join SWF. The hype gets a job. That's huge. Hopefully he cleans up his act, gets some popularity, and we could sign him. I might just sign him anyways. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed with Whistler leaving us. I don't know who this is. This is just Robert Oxford. His contract was up, signed 4 years, 12 mil, so we got him locked up. So now we know for sure the Whistler's going to lose next week. Or not next week. Well, yeah, I guess it will be next week since the go home show is this upcoming Sunday. He's going to lose, and I'll probably write him out. That's a good way to get Damon Carville some heel heat. I should probably figure out who I want to be Damon Carville's like heater, so to speak. It still does not say who the head booker is. So right now it's just Richard Eisen. Maybe he just stays on as head booker. I yeah, I mean I guess that makes sense because yeah, he's just gonna keep himself booker. I didn't even really think of that as a possibility. Do, do, do. Considering he has booking skill and all that. So, I mean, his rating considerably lower. Now, I don't know if those ratings really even matter, to be completely transparent. But he does leave, and Whistler, but they let Hollywood walk. So maybe we just sign Hollywood as like a way to we trade Hollywood for the Whistler. Veteran tag wrestler. So okay, they're ladies men. He'd fit in with Romeo, but okay, with neither. I feel like he'd fit in with Romeo. So even though we lost Whistler, we might sign Hollywood Mike Kinsey. Him teaming with Romeo could be fun, being like Romeo's. So an easy way to for me to book heels especially is give them like a manager, a heater, just somebody who they can play off and then turn on down the line. It's basic, wrestling 101. Like Brent Hill and Rip Corder are in a feud eventually. Trying to think like the Paul Steady Fast eventually. I mean, his ratings are not great at all right now. So maybe after he develops for a long time, he will eventually turn, or Eric Tyler will turn, or Robert Oxford will turn, or what I mean? Like that's like very typical heel 101. BLZ Travis Sentry, probably gonna be the exception to that rule. As like I don't feel like BLZ will be good on his own. I mean maybe. And then Travis Sentry, like they're both like so maybe that's like the exception here, which there's always that exception to the rule. Like RP Jr. is gonna turn on the All Star team. We know that. So it's just a matter of like figuring out the storyline reason. And I also got to spread it out. I can't do it's like modern like Triple H era of like booking. It's a lot of just pull apart brawls. Can't have the Russo bro booking of like everybody turning on each other week after week. But a little bit of a longer episode, so we can see if they announce a new head booker of SWF, but is now Richard Eisen, and that's good for us. So we'll see what happens from here. Talk to you guys next time.